Welcome back. You're still tuned into Halftime Report on CNBC-TV18. The stock on our radar is Anupam Rasayan. Centrum recently initiated coverage with a reduced rating, target price of 725. But they do talk about certain triggers and levers going forward for the company as they expand into fluorination and the other capex that the company has planned as well. To discuss the outlook, we are now joined by Anand Desai, who's the MD at Anupam Rasayan, to discuss the business outlook and a lot more. Mr. Desai, good afternoon. Thanks a lot for joining us. Speaking to you after a very long time, so we do have a lot to ask you as well. Quarter 2 results were very strong for the company. In quarter 2, you did mention that you continue to see an increase in volumes. Is it coming in via newer clients or the existing clients are giving you more demand? And you also spoke about the Europe Plus One theme. What kind of benefits have you seen so far? Is it a company-specific phenomenon or you're seeing it across the industry?
So thank you for this opportunity, and yes, it's been a long time. But yes, again, coming back to your question, I think the half year was strong. We expect the remaining part of the year also to go strong. See, Europe Plus One is playing out well. China Plus One has been in the place since some time. And as you would know, that we are competing against the other main competitors are in Europe. So, you know, the energy crisis over there, the other cost factors which are going up over there has made us more competitive, and that is what is driving our sales, or rather our volume growth for our products. So I think that is where the growth is coming more. We have been giving guidance, so in the past of that we will be doing what we've been doing in the past, that is around 25 to 30% growth, and that is we anticipate to complete the year with that percentage. Yes.
All right, we take that point. You recently raised about 500 crores via QIP. Wanted to understand if that was for your fluorination expansion. 420 crores is the amount that you earmarked for that. And once that happens, what's the asset turnover on this investment, and what phase of fluorination cycle will you be in? So
on the QIP raise, we have been planning for this since last 1.5 years now. Even after the IPO, we started this process, and we have been in discussion with the customers, and the customers have given us an understanding that this is required from us. Based on that, we have planned 2 capexes. As you know, we are based in 2 geographies. One is in Sachin and other is in Jagadia. So we will be having 2 plants coming up in either of these, in both of these geographies. And that is where the main fluorination part expansion will happen. And you have to understand that even in the last 3-4 years, we have, 15% of our top line has been coming from fluorination. So this is not new, but this is further expansion on to new products based on the customer guidance that we have got from them.
Okay, and what would the asset turn be on the capex that you have spoken about?
Going forward, we expect the asset turn to be more than 1.5. Our target will be more than 1.75, but we have given a guidance of 1.5 years.
Okay. So you said 15% is already what you get from fluorination business. It's just an expansion into a newer cycle, so to say, or an upwards journey in the fluorination chain. So does that also mean better margins once you actually add more fluorination products? And how much will fluorination contribute overall to the top line once all these capex come on stream?
So, if you would consider that we currently, we are performing at 25-26% EBITDA levels, and I would prefer, see, as you know that we pass through our costs, so our costs to our customers are transparent, and all the global MNCs are our customers. So, at that point of time, we have to be rational, and the customer has to be happy also, and so we would prefer that we work in the same margins which we are doing currently. So we would prefer to give a guidance of between a margin of between 25 to 28% going forward on a continuous basis.
Right. In the second quarter, contribution from Europe was about 35%. India was 31%. Looking at Japan, Singapore, China, all of that would be about 20-odd%. Exports basically close to 70% of your overall revenues. Do they come in at better margins? And because there is this concern in Europe and America, slowdown is expected, do you think there could be any sort of weakness there?
So again, you see the business or the products which we are in. and with what applications they are going in. So major would come from agro, I mean, as you would know, and what we mentioned. And the second is pharmaceuticals and antibacterials. So, and again, we are competing against somebody who's sitting in Europe or say in Japan, and the costs over there have gone through the roof. So we stand a better chance for expanding our existing product volume growth. And that is where we are coming from. Our customers have been giving us guidance. They are insisting us to, fulfill our volumes, which were supposed to be done for 12 months, to be done in 9 months or even 10 months. So that's a kind of potential, or rather the growth which we are seeing now, especially into Europe and into the US. And again, most of the products are into agrochemicals and pharmaceuticals. So there the demand is very consistent, I would say. And so we don't anticipate any major issues from that side. Not even major, but I would say there are any issues from that side.
Mr. Desai, I just want to understand, for exports, do you have any manpower which is stationed abroad? Is that something that you do, R&D labs or any company, so to say?
So we have people in Europe. We have our major sales are into Germany and into Switzerland. So we have a representative office over there where it is staffed by 2 people. In the US also we have 2 people. And we have just recently started a company in Japan. We shall be starting a company in Japan by January end, where we are staffing 2 new people.
Yeah, Mr. Desai, I ask you that because, I've been speaking to some pharmaceutical companies as well. They spoke about how difficult it is to get scientific talent abroad when you're talking about expansion, because that is one of the most important things as well when you are developing new products. So is that something that agrochemical companies or chemical companies in general are facing as well?
I think yes, but see, you have to come from Anupam's perspective. You have to understand that we are working with the major global majors. So there are a lot of opportunities for us to tap into the network of the people who retired from these MNCs, and that has been our idea to take it forward. So so most of the people whom we have taken on board in Europe, either they were leading BSF's office and they have retired now, and we have taken them on board. In US, it was a Corteva gentleman from Corteva who's retired and has joined Anupam. Similarly, in Japan, a very senior person from FMC who is retired, he has joined Anupam. So that is a strategy which we follow to take people who have been into an MNC, and then after the retirement, we take them on board. So
yes, I do get your point. I just want to confirm is that if that's something happening on ground at all and will impact industry at large. Last question before we let you go: what will your manufacturing capacity increase to once all this capex come on stream, the fluorination one and the other ones that you're planning? Currently, it's 27,157 metric tons per annum. What would it increase to?
So I would not prefer to go on the volume side because, on the multipurpose plant, those volumes change very fast. For example, a product would require 5 steps. We would need 10 steps, and then the volume shrink. But I would rather go on a value side and say that we would be able to give you 30 to 35% growth going forward from FY24 onwards. So that is something which we would be focusing on. So volume and value growth will be there, and we are slowly transiting towards the higher value price products on the fluorination side, especially. And our existing portfolio, they are also growing massively on all the LOIs which you signed last year. They will start coming into play from next year onwards. So I think you should see, and we have been growing historically at 30% plus. That is what we would want to continue growing, go for the next 3 to 5 years, based on the last LOI signed, as well as the new capexes which will come on board by 2024. So I think 30 to 35% guidance is what we've been giving to the market. And that is what, again, I mentioned over here.
Okay. All right, Mr. Desai, it was a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for joining us today and explaining to us the business plans and what's happening on ground as well. Time for a break now. Prakash Gaba will join in with some trading strategies on the other side. Stay tuned.